Okay, people, now let's start speaking about our subject of tonight, which is the defense mechanisms of mind. First, before we watch the video, how many of you know what we are talking about? Do you know what it means? What's a defense mechanism of mind? Can you think of something, what it might mean, what it is, how it shows up? You could think about that when I put the video rolling here. Okay, I have this great video here. Let's start with this. The music away. Coping. Yes. Okay, let's start. That was a nice and easy video to watch about this kind of thing that is maybe also pretty hard to learn and see in yourself. And this kind of things happen in all of us. So I would say the short thing, what is a defense mechanism of mind? In short, it could be said that it is something used to keep our inappropriate or unwanted thoughts and impulses from entering in the conscious mind. So it is a way of keeping away those unwanted thoughts and feelings about life and about anything that happens, gaming, in a relationship, anything. It's the ways that mind has that keeps away these annoying things you wouldn't like to express or you wouldn't like to feel in yourself. And who invented this word? Many times it's said that Sigmund Freud is the one who thought that these kind of things are happening in a person's mind and that it's connected to the ego, which is also something that Freud wrote about. And also important to know is that defense mechanisms are like working against anxiety. Like any kind of anxiety we don't really want to feel. Like it's an annoying feeling for a human to feel anxiety. Like I think every one of us here who watches this, I myself, know that feeling anxiety is not nice. So the mind has different kind of tricks how to keep this anxiety feeling away or other unwanted feelings. Okay, what are unwanted feelings? I would say the most common unwanted feelings are shame, guilt, being ashamed, this kind of stuff. And the mind is a super in keeping these kind of things away. Okay, but if you use too much of these mind's defense mechanisms, your life can be, it might make your life a bit not so nice. You might not feel so much feelings and you might seem outside that you are not reacting to things like you should be. There are a lot of defense mechanisms found, but I will read here the main ones and I will try to tell you some kind of how it shows up in the life and if you want, you can always write in the chat for me some kind of what you feel if you have this kind of things going on in life and if you use some of these more than others. And I will always like, if I read about these kind of things, I will always like think also myself that what of this am I like doing myself? Which one is my favorite defense mechanism? And in the course of like being a psychotherapist and going through my own therapy, how has it changed in me? And I think a lot has changed in my mind with these kind of things. But I think we should start about this super interesting stuff happening in the mind. So it's important to know that defense mechanisms work like in the unconscious level of mind. So you really don't know when you are doing these kind of things. It's not like you knowingly do a defense mechanism. It's more like it happens in the unconscious mind, and you can see from the outside that something happened there. Like a therapist is watching all the time his patient like, what really happened there? I asked him a hard question, or we were talking about something, and instead of like answering me like direct, something happened there. Some of these defense mechanisms came there, and he couldn't like feel the thing coming in his mind or something like this. But let's start. Can defense mechanism be pulling hair out when anxious? Yes. That is like one like, you got it like right. It's like you feel anxious about something. You feel that tomorrow it's going to be a hard test in school or something. And then like picking hair. Wait, I'll close the door. Picking hair makes you think of other things, and I think you really don't like choose to pick hair. Like, I think like people who pick hair, it's very normal, like picking hair from the hand or somewhere else. Some men pick their beard, and some pick their nose hair and stuff. But it's not like you really think like, now I will be picking my hair. It's more like you start to do it automatically when something like anxiety inducing is starting to come in your mind. Okay. Erkakso wrote, I have a habit of intellectualizing. I kind of focus on being conscious and gaining information, but sometimes I forget to actually feel and acknowledge what I feel. And I don't talk about my feelings much or express them. Cool. This intellectualizing is a defense mechanism that is well known. And this was a great example from you. And so please write me this, what you might be using. It helps you if you like start noticing it. Then it might go away. And what's the important thing here? If you lower your defense mechanisms, you start knowing what's the feeling or what's behind that. What is it against? So your life might get a bit easier, or you might find some new feelings, or you might get some energy. It's been thought, like in the psychoanalytic theory, that these defense mechanisms like take the mind's energy. It's not like they are like easy to hold without any energy. It takes some of the free-flowing energy of the mind, like to hold these defenses up. But I will start with some easy ones. Wait. Okay, this one is like one of the most normal things happening. Thanks Pharmaceutti for following. Displacement. And there, I will read this from I have some books, and thanks Xenantissit and Kassuboik for following. I guess it's a form of self-control and at its root a fear of emotions. Thanks also Kassuboik. Displacement is the defense mechanism that happens a lot in a normal daily life. Hello.
Do you want some vegan ice cream?
I will soon have, because this is the stream going on about this will go to YouTube, so I can't eat. This is the normal one where you come from work to home, like you are a bit angry or tired or something like this, and then instead of saying to your partner that or instead of saying to your child or partner or the dog that maybe the most normal one would be you are tired and you don't notice it so easily, and the dog will come to you and be somehow annoying. You will be like, go away, annoying dog. So displacement is like putting the aggression into something that is easier to deal with, like a dog or like maybe a displacement, a nice internet, like in Twitch example would be like if my game in Counter-Strike goes bad, I will like smash my mouse, boom. So I displace the anger that is in my mind, and it's overflowing too much. I displace it into something like some objects or a dog or something like this. I think that's the easiest way to explain displacement. So the how it's said in the books, like in the therapy books, it's like displacement involves taking out our frustrations, feelings and impulses on people, objects that are less threatening. If I get anger, I go CSGO, I will just shout, yes. I guess it's yes, Mikkasi. That's very normal. And then the next one, I hope if you have something to ask about these mechanisms, you can ask me anytime. I will try to make up new examples. Denial. It's maybe the most known defense mechanism of mind. Denial. It's used to describe situations where people seem unable to face reality or admit an obvious truth. Also, it could be said like, he's in denial or she's in denial. Like it's a normal way of it's so normal to use this strategy that it's in the it's normal to say like he's in denial. It is something where it's something where you just deny something happening and you just can't like see it in your mind. You can't talk about it. You will just put something that would be here and super annoying. You will just put it away. And it's just because there is something that disturbs you, like your ego so much that you just want to put it away, totally away. And what could be easy ways of? Okay, I will read soon your comments. Maybe easiest way of like I tell this about people is that some people like which have alcohol or drug problem don't see it at all. Like they just go on with the problem or something like this, go drinking. Go drinking or just go on with the habit, even though people around you, your family, your couple or friends are saying, "Hi, this really is a problem for you." No, I don't have a problem. Like total denial can happen, and the person really does believe that there is no problem. It's so hard to take the thing that, are they really meaning that I have a problem? And start to think about it, because it hurts so much, it causes so much mental pain. And maybe like this year I thought about denial a lot in my job, like being a therapist. Julius, you can open up about anything, but I will now tell about these mind's mechanisms, but I will answer you also. If you ask me anything, I will answer you in the middle. It's no problem. Okay, denial. I thought that when we had this Corona thing going on, like this spring in Finland, we saw a lot of people who we already knew that the coronavirus is in Finland, but people would go to Lapland or into other places where there were many people, and they would not see the thing that this is really a problem here. They would just do the old thing and deny like they would all around denial this thing that Corona is coming and we really have a problem here. And many people would say for a long time that no, this Corona thing is not real. It's not really happening. I think that is a good example of denial, like not seeing something that is true and is happening around you. So how do we help people with this kind of thing? In the therapy, I slowly start to like point on the thing that maybe there is something going on here. Like are you for sure that there is no problem with this thing? And slowly, if the denial is about like alcohol or something like that, slowly point more and more that is there something going on here? And many times the people coming there will eventually see the problem. And then when the denial is like slowly going away, then they can start changing their things. Addiction is one of the best known examples of denial. People who are living with a substance use problem will often flat out deny that their behavior is problematic. In other cases, they might admit that they do use drugs or alcohol, but will claim that their substance use is not problematic. That's good to hear. In my mind, I have become like a huge perfectionist. I have cleaned up my house and set up everything in my desire. Just the what I want to be them. I have never been like this. I blame the fact that I'm unemployed and been sitting at home for so long. Now without live content, I could be correct. Could you answer Pharmaceuti's question? It's something we've been thinking about too. Is it about this subject or? I can answer this one after we have been speaking about these mind things. Okay. Okay, next one. Repression and suppression. Okay, repression is like also one of the most used defense mechanisms of mind. It's the case where something like maybe happened in your childhood, abuse, physical or something like this, and you totally like repress it in the unconscious, and without help you don't know that this kind of thing ever happened. Like it's mostly seen in therapies. Like if I ask you know how many times if a person comes to therapy, I ask him or her, how was your childhood in the first few meetings, and the patient will say, my childhood was very happy. There was nothing bad. Okay, when I hear this, I always think, yes, we will have a great therapy. He or she, the patient, doesn't know yet. There are lots of problems, maybe depression and things like this going on, addiction, but they don't know, they don't remember the stuff happening in the childhood. So it's repressed in the unconscious. You can't remember these kind of things. Okay, with therapy, slowly this repressed material is starting to rise in the mind, like in the conscious mind. You start to know, like, okay, maybe something happened there. Like, I didn't really remember this thing, but something might have happened in that weekend. Like, I remember it was this weekend, like, we had some kind of problem, and you start to remember, like, okay, there is something happening here. And their memories start to rise. They might need some digging also. So it's not easy. So repression means something is pushed in the unconscious mind away from this conscious mind that we know, that we see here and we remember. So, but it's important to notice that these kind of things, they really don't go anywhere. Like it's like they are put away, but they still are there. So we can always find them. Like here is an example. A person who has repressed memories of abuse suffered as child may later have difficulty forming relationships. So these kind of things affect your living and your mental health, even though they are not remembered. And sometimes a person can like push, if something happens right now, push the thing away from the mind. And that is called suppression. Like I have a great example of this. Last year I was driving from Tampere to Turku, and the car in front of me hit a deer, like from 100 kilometers per hour. Hit a deer, and the car went totally broken, and the driver, she was an old lady, and then I went to ask her. I saw her, she was in panic, like oh, what's happening? I went to say to her, maybe you should come out of the car. That your car is totally broken. She only said to me, no, there's nothing happening here. Like I'm going into a funeral. I'm driving here. And I said, no, I think you can't drive now. Your car is totally broken. The front wheel was like flat beneath the car. And she was like, no, nothing happened. So it was such a great shock for her that she like suppressed the thing all away and was thinking like nothing happened. Okay, farmaseutti, I will answer your question after this. You must wait if you want an answer. I will after this theme. Okay, now is a more useful. All these mechanisms are not so unuseful. This one is actually pretty good. Sublimation. It's a defense mechanism that allows us to act out and accept unacceptable impulses by converting these behaviors into more acceptable forms. For example, a person is experiencing anger extreme and might take up kickboxing in ways of dealing with this thing. So, sublimation is like having some kind of big emotion like that you don't like and putting it somewhere where it might be even useful, like going for a jog if you are angry, or you would like to break something, you would go and hit the wood with the axe, like boom, and these kind of things. So sublimation is very useful. Okay, Mymmelsen, you wrote me, I remember nothing from my life before being 10 to 12 years old. Is this good or bad? I'm seeing a therapist. I would say there is some kind of thing blocking your memory from working before that. So it's normal for people to remember things from like maybe 5 to 6 years and thereon. Like if you don't remember anything under being 10 years old, there might be some kind of problem. I would be searching for those things in therapy. Like, really, what happened there? What happened when you were in the first grade or in the second grade? When you were really small? I would be asking for these kind of things. What if the person in denial is close to you and feels being insulted and gets very upset when you are trying to tell she has a problem? I think it's much different when a therapist says it to someone rather than someone that is very close to you. Wow, great question. If the person living in denial is like very close, it doesn't really help if you go say it like direct, like, hey, you are wrong there. You should try to tell it with some kind of examples, like, do you see, like, there is something happening here. You have this kind of things happening in your life. You experience this kind of things, and now it's like you don't even speak about them. Or so what might have happened here? I would go with a soft kind of tone and with examples that show that okay, there is really something happening. Like not so sharp and aggressive, but rather like soft and tell her or he, which one it is, like by examples, like, did you see that this kind of thing happened and you have not said anything about it? I have mixed feelings about sublimation. Is there a risk of avoiding to express the challenging emotion? Or is it more important to avoid risky behavior until finding a more stable way to express the emotion? Okay, sublimation, yes, that is good one. If you always like do sublimation, like somebody would always like take the feeling away with like kickboxing or something like this. It's also important to feel the feeling and what's it connected to. Okay, Mymmelsen, great. So, how can I unblock a problem I don't even know about? How can I unsolve what happened before the age of 10 when I don't remember anything? In therapy, I always go with people like, I may ask them to bring pictures of that time, or did you find a notebooks or something from pictures or what you wrote, or ask their sisters or mother or father or grandma, like people will go and ask like, hey, what happened in my life when I was like 7 years old? I don't remember anything about this year. How is it possible? I don't remember anything. So asking other people, watching old pictures, this kind of things can help you. Something little can start like it starts to open up short, like little by little, this thing. Okay, I remember one thing. Now I remember one thing. Nice, I maybe have diaries. No photos, it was the lama. Okay, Mymmelson. It was lama-aika. So, did you just say to me, you don't remember things from lama-aika? Okay, now I know why you have this kind of repression going on there. I also lived through lama-aika as a child. Okay, lama is like the recession time in Finland. It was in 80s to when 80s changed to 90s and to maybe 92, 93. Lots of people were unemployed. And this kind of thing that you don't remember from there might be because your parents were unhappy or there was a lot of problems, or so your mind has pressed those things away, like let's not remember these years at all. Okay, you might think, then why should I try to search those things? If you want to know what happened to you, many times people feel easier if they know their lives like line, what happened there and there and there. So if you want to search for it, go for it, like diaries and something like this. Try to remember what games you played there, what kind of friends you had in the first classes of school, these kind of things. Many times the therapist asks these things from you, so it starts to open up. Do therapists use any and what kind of psychological techniques when speaking with the client? Well, kesähessu, that is a great question. We use like in my therapy, my type of therapy, I do psychodynamic analytic therapy. I try to speak in a way that the patient can remember as much as possible. I try not to interrupt the thinking of the patient. I try to ask questions that open up more and more of the thing. And if I see the patient like thinking or saying like, oh, I really don't like to think about this. Like in normal life, somebody would just go, okay, let's not think about it anymore. But in therapy, many times I would say, hey, I know you don't feel nice with these kind of things, but should we try? You are here, we are trying to search for your mind, the things there, and what happened, and this is a safe room, I'm here with you. Like, with this kind of stuff, I help the patient like trust and slowly open up more from the hard things in mind. I hope I answered your question somehow. I was born in 1990. My family maybe went through the lama-aika, not me. But thanks, I'll think about it. Mymmelson, just try to think about what a normal boy or girl in that time would go through, and what don't you remember, and in what school were you, and your friends, and ask other people like if your family is around, ask them like, how was it in those years? I don't remember anything. So you can do this kind of small research about the thing. Okay, next defense mechanism is like my great favorite. Projection. So the word already says it. projection. A projector is like a device that puts something out of this box into the wall and you see it there. So projection, the defense mechanism is for us is we see our own emotions in other people. And this one is like, I always, projektointi in Finland. I always in therapies want my patients to learn about this thing. This is an thing that if you don't know about it, it makes your life sometimes miserable. Hi Infi! Hi there! I'm happy you found it now. I'm happy about it. Thanks for coming in. So, like projection is something we can find great examples from relationships. Like short, it is a defense mechanism that involves taking our unacceptable qualities or feelings and ascribing them to other people. For example, if you have a strong dislike for someone, you might instead believe that they do not like you. Projection works by allowing the expression of the desire or impulse, but in a way that the ego cannot recognize, and it reduces anxiety. So, projection is this thing that you had a difficult day in work, like very difficult, and you go home from work and you see your wife and you are like, why are you always so tired? Why are you always so tired? You just saw her after a long day in work and you lash it out her and say like, you are always like this. Or you had a bad game and you see something like this, that it comes out like you don't recognize, I'm very tired. And then you see someone close to you and you feel like, she must be tired. That's why I feel bad. Or something like this. So you project your unwanted feelings to other people. I don't know how many of you see this kind of in yourself. Okay, remember now, all of these are, almost all of this is like unconscious. It doesn't happen like, now I decide to do a projection or sublimation. It just happens in the mind, and then you know the happenings, what comes of it. It feels very stressful to be the target of harsh projection. Yes, some people use this a lot, and maybe like borderline personality, epävakaa persona, unstable personality. They use this kind of thing a lot, and it's very hard to be with some person who uses a lot of projection, because all the time you are feeling like, I'm not really like that. I can't feel about myself like she or he said. I really am not like that. But it's hard to like explain away, and it's hard to like confront this kind of behavior. So this is something I always try to fix in therapies when people come. Try to lessen the projection they make to other people. Or if they are the one who gets this kind of behavior from their couple, try to put like stop to it, like, no, I'm not allowing this kind of thing. Tulops, maybe projection, this what you said is more like displacement. I would say your thing you said here, this glass thing, is more displacement than. I had a memory loss of first 25 years, pretty much everything gone unless someone reminded me. I opened up my memory a lot by reading Tunne Lukkosi book. I even regained memories from preschool. Pretty hard to read, must be read with open mind and stop to think every now and then. Wow, Iteukka. Wow, you have done a great job, and I know this book. It's not like my therapy type who wrote it, but it's a great book. And I'm so glad you self-helped yourself away from this kind of huge memory loss. So there must be some kind of hard things happened in your life before the 25-year limit or something like this. Julops writes, I had very bad memory as well. I can't remember anything. I can't remember anything from last week. Einari asks, how do you deal with someone projects his or her bad feelings towards you? You can't really blame the other person or the situation. I would say, okay, for the first times, Einari, if you do this, what I say now, it will maybe cause some problems in the relationship. But I would say, I don't think this is about me now. I would be more open and direct with the answer and say, I can't see myself being tired or angry now. This might be yourself feeling that way. Like the word for this kind of therapy is mentalization, like teaching the partner that we have two minds of our own. You are here and I'm here. We are still together, but I can't find this thing now from myself that you said. Maybe it might be that you yourself are feeling like this. Something like this could help. Thanks JB the man for following. Thank you very much. We are talking about defense mechanisms of mind. And now we are talking about one of the most important things, projection. So Einari, I hope you got some help. You would try to build some kind of limit that you are not always the reason for the bad feeling, or you are not the one being tired or angry, or you could say, this is not me. I don't recognize this thing from myself. Okay, next one somebody already said here. Hi, Farao. Intellectualization. It's a good advice, even though it's gonna start a myk. Yes, I know. So, but Einari, if you don't do it, it will slowly drive your relationship worse. So if you want to help the other one, you want to say like this, stop. It's not really about me here. So eventually you will help the partner with this. Hi, mielikuvitus. Where is the therapy pen? Okay, intellectualization. This is the main Twitch warriors and Reddit warriors way of defending, of putting annoying feelings aside. This defense mechanism allows us to avoid thinking about the stressful emotional aspect of the situation and instead only focus on the intellectual component. So in Finnish this is älyllistäminen. This is the thing where somebody is like, should feel more feelings, but they only see the intellect side of things. Do you know this kind of behavior is very normal, I would say, in young men, in internet and in forums and in It's those people who come with this intellect speaking and try to avoid feeling much. Okay, Teukka. Thanks. Thanks for the message. Interesting, and I'm so glad you could help yourself. For example, a person who has just been diagnosed with terminal illness might focus on learning everything about the disease in order to avoid distress and to remain distant from the reality of the situation. What? I do not know what you're talking about. By intellect, you mean objective materialistic. Intellectualization is more like you should feel heavy, like hard emotions, chip steel, but you start focusing more on the intellect side, like learning something new, like focusing on some theory, and not in the thing that haven't caused you anxiety, or like I will make up an example from my mind now. Like somebody, your girlfriend hurts you, and you, instead of feeling angry or shamed or these kind of things, start to read about how women's hormones work and how they, like, you put all the negative thing into like some kind of intellectual like reading or something like this, so you are like over intelligent instead of being emotional. Okay, Ratata, hope you hear me now. Okay, then rationalization. Okay, rationalization is... Okay, Chip Still, you said, describes me pretty well. What can I do to reduce that? The most important thing in all these defense mechanisms, if you want to reduce them, is to understand that they are working against feelings you don't want to feel, or anxiety. I don't want to feel anxiety. It's against mental pain. So if you notice that you are working in some kind of over-intellectual way, you might think like, why am I doing this right now? Why? What happened like now? Or if you see a place where you should be feeling emotional, like because of work or something, and you just start to be very intellect and don't feel anything, you should like try to think about, what am I trying to avoid here? This kind of thinking easily you can find the thing under there. Like, okay, I got very ashamed about one thing, and after that I started thinking about this new idea. This kind of thing. How is intellectualization a bad thing though? You aren't letting your bad emotions control you. Instead, you are trying to understand the underlying situation from other perspective. The problem will come if you do it like too much, because feelings can't be put away so easily. So doing this kind of thing all the time can cause problems in the future. Slowly, it can slowly build up that you can feel those feelings, and then, okay, maybe something could come after that. If you do years like this, you might become like depressed someday or something like this. So what therapy always tries to do, like this psychoanalytic therapy, is to feel your feelings as open as possible. as open as possible. Feel your feelings, feel your thoughts. Like, what am I thinking now? This kind of things. And how do I feel about this? Now I'm angry. Okay. I hope you got some answers. So, rationalization is a mechanism that involves explaining an unacceptable behavior or feeling in a rational way or logical manner, avoiding the true reasons for the behavior. So, for example, a person who is turned down for a date might rationalize the situation by saying they were not attracted to the other person anyway. A student might blame a poor exam score on the instructor rather than their own lack of preparation. This is maybe an easy one to understand, I think. For myself, it was, I remember. So, this not only prevents anxiety, it may also protect self-esteem and self-concept. So, you try to rationalize things in this way that you don't have to feel the right feelings. Like this test result thing is great, like great example. I got a 4, like the worst note in the worst in Finland from a test, and you will say, no, the school is shit. They can't teach me good enough, or this, or maybe a normal would be you drive too fast with the car on the road and the police comes and stops you and gives you a ticket. You will say, always the police is like this. This is not my fault. I didn't drive. And you find like the problem is not in what you did. You rationalize it in the other thing there, the police or the teacher or something like this. Einar, it's a problem if you push away your emotion and refuse to feel. To feel doesn't risk understanding or thinking rationally. It's like a common way to think. Dunning-Kruger effect. That I must search. I don't remember that one. Wait. Dunning-Kruger effect. Wait. Okay, I must read that better after this. Wait. I don't remember the theory so well, so I can't tell you like straight away. Sorry, kesähes. Okay, the next one. Regression. Okay, this one is super interesting for a therapist. Like regression. A person confronts stressful events and they cope like reverting to patterns they have used in earlier life when being like a child, or like reversing in your age back in the past. Regress. So in child's the normal thing here is that maybe a 5-year-old child has some kind of emotional problems and he starts peeing in the bed again, or sucking a thumb like again, a thing they already learned away a few years ago. So it means regressing back. Okay, adults also have this kind of problems. They are not so harsh like sucking the thumb in the work when you have problems. But it's like going back in time. losing your skills of coping in adult life. Wouldn't more confident person put the fault on someone else of themselves? I think the most important thing is that if you have done something yourself, you should want to try to see it in yourself also, so you can be as real with your own emotion as you can be, and like carry your own things. Hi Iso Are. WILLFEEL, how did repression affect later life relationships? Wait a second. Yes, that's we didn't talk about that. That's a good question. So repression, if you like repress something away from your consciousness that happened in your childhood, like your physical abuse or something like this, and you push it totally away, then it might cause you problems in the adult relationship. Like you could be angry or afraid in situations that there should be no problem. Like small things could arouse large feelings in you, or you could go like, it might cause some kind of troubles in those kind of situations where the thing happened in the past, but you just don't remember, why am I doing it like this? That's why we want to search for this thing. Like in therapy, you would like to search for the real thing and not allowing it to function in your modern day life too much. Okay, we went through regression. It's been said that in adults, like regression could be like something you have problem in life and you just start drinking and forget the things you should do, the family or the job. You just are in a state where you are like, no, nothing, I have nothing important and I just want to drink here and be like a younger version of yourself. Forget the adult thing. Really interesting. I have to find a good therapist so I can go to talk about this and open my memoir. Yes, you really should do that, Mimmelson. Great thing if you want to do it. So you might find something interesting there. Okay, next one. Reaction formation. This is something like strange and interesting. Reaction formation reduces anxiety by taking up the opposite feeling, impulse, or behavior. An example of this would be treating someone you strongly dislike in an excessive friendly manner, in order of hiding your true feelings. Why are people behaving like this? Freud said that they are using reaction formation as a defense mechanism to hide the true feelings by behaving in the exact opposite manner. So, reaction formation, you feel something about someone and you choose to function in the complete opposite way. Like you are in love with a girl. But then one day something happens and you see her and you think like, she is totally ugly, I hate her. Togemoge, still you can try to be here and learn. We can learn together this thing. I'm glad you are here. So, this is a super interesting thing. You react by the complete other way you should be doing. Or if you find examples of this. It's like this happens a lot in lives. You should feel like angry or something like this, and then you start being like totally like overly friendly. Or in funerals, people are very sad, but in some funerals there is somebody who is like smiling all the time. Or someone is like even laughing in funerals, like ha ha ha. And so, like the close one has died, and you are like, ah. So the mind has turned around the feelings. I think this one is like, for me, it's like always super interesting to see in people. Thanks, Tom P. I'm glad if you relax with this voice. Okay, then there are like tens of other defense mechanisms, but I wanted to tell you about these most normal ones. Like, let's go through the list again. Displacement. It was the thing where you had a bad day and the dog is the reason for the bad day when you come at home. Thanks, R2. Like, or displacement is the thing where you lose a Counter-Strike game, and instead of feeling I played wrong, you smash the keyboard totally broken and throw your mouse in the wall. It's because of this mouse I can't hit. It's because of this Logitech. This is displacement. The reason is outside of your mind. It's in something concrete, where you can easily put it away. That's displacement. So next time you're playing Counter-Strike, and you are starting like, no, because of this F mouse I don't hit, you can remember, oh, Will said, this is because of myself. I can't do the hitting. I can't hit the heads. That's an easy way to remember that. Then there is denial. A person just denies something happening. And the easiest way of remembering denial is somebody has an alcohol problem and everyone else around him or her says, you really have a problem. And then he himself says, no, I really don't have any kind of problem. And he like totally dismisses the thing that anything is happening. Many times connected to addictions. Okay, then repression and suppression. Repression is the thing where you put something completely, you push it out of your mind. Something happened as a child, you were abused or something bad, or you're something like this, you just totally don't remember anything about it. There's just like a big hole there in your mind. And suppression is the thing actively doing, like repression is in past, many times in childhood, traumatic things. And suppression is the thing you could do where I told you about the lady who drove the crash with the deer and was just like, nothing happened, I can just drive forward. And I see that her car is totally broken. That it can't move anymore. So the mind has pushed actively the thing that happened away. Sublimation was the one which was like the most useful one of these mechanisms, I tell you. It's the thing where you take an emotion, like like fear or something, and you put it in training like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or something, boxing. Or it could also be you feel angry, but you put it out on like blocking wood with an axe. Laumat says sometimes banana is just a banana. Yes, or you can always remember that these are like examples what I tell you here, and they will not always, you don't need to think about these kind of things unless there are problems in your life. So Messi is leaving Barcelona. Well, I don't need mechanisms to that. Hell, I'm using defense mechanism right now listening to you. I do not want to believe that there is problems. But isn't blocking out bad memories healthy to your mind, especially if it can affect your life daily? Why would somebody like want to find out these kind of things? And okay, when you find out I'm doing this, it might cause at first some problems. You might feel like, oh no, why did I know this thing now? Why did I remember this ugly thing? Why we search these things is that, for example, if something really bad happened in the childhood, the person comes to therapy because of depression or anxiety. The healing comes from finding those things. What's causing this mental thing with myself? That's why we try to find these emotions or thoughts or memories. Is it too late to make a change in life when you are in the mid-20s? No, really is not. You are like early there. Many patients are like 40 to 50 years old. You are really early if you are in your 20s. I would be glad to know in your age that I have some problems, I want to solve these. What kind of therapy works with repression? I would say psychodynamic therapy is like the best one in this one. Like searching your memories. That's what I do, and I know it's not the best therapy in everything, but in this thing, like going into your past and the memories, it's a great therapy. You are very young. No problem. I was attacked by a dog in Greece when I was young, but I don't fear dog. And I understood it because the dog was blind and petted it and gave food to him, and suddenly it bit me down. Oh. Do you know David Goggins? Yes, I know him. He's the crazy guy talking about like, I will do ultra marathon, don't be lazy. I like him. I don't know why. I like him very much. I watch his like motivational speeches a lot. I like David Goggins, yes. Okay, we went through sublimation. It was the useful defense mechanism. Then was the favorite of mine that I would like you to see in yourself and in your couple's projection. It was the thing where you see your own unwanted feeling in the other person. I would like to give one more advice how to see projection. It's if you see a person and you even haven't had time to talk with him or her, and immediately you feel that there is some kind of huge emotion in the person. So you haven't had time to ask him or her what's going on, and you immediately feel like now she is angry, or now she hates me. If you feel so fast emotions with no talking before that or something like this, there might be this kind of thing happening, like projection. Okay, intellectualization was the thing. Thanks, Mymmelson. And Mymmelson, you were asking about the Finnish language in the start. Now you can see, maybe it's not such a big problem if you know what I mean. We have this Nordic English, and I think it's good enough, and we will get better all the time. I hope you know what I mean with this. We will get better all the time. And also people from other countries get a chance to talk with us about this kind of things. It's not too much here in Twitch. Okay, intellectualization was the thing where instead of feeling feelings, you start to be very intellect. So the example was, person has a terminal illness like cancer, and instead of feeling the feelings involved there, he tries to avoid the distress by learning everything about the situation. Thanks, Mimmelson. Yes, I know Jordan Peterson. I watched a lot of videos from him. He has some good stuff. I don't know if everything is, but I like his stuff. Some of his speeches are like very easy for the normal person, not the professional, to understand even difficult things. Aren't some people really sensitive to those kind of things instead of being projectory or whatever the right word was? Yes, some people are really sensitive. Really sensitive. You are right there. So how can one see the difference? I think the difference, like in projection, the thing is, you can notice projection by feeling that now my wife or my girlfriend is saying something about me that I can see in myself. Like she says I am angry, but I cannot notice me being angry. That's how you notice the thing coming from outside, and seeing that your own could be like you just meet somebody and you feel immediately he must be very sad now. Then it might be you yourself are sad. Okay, Speedy, now I read I don't know if you answered me, but a couple of weeks ago we agreed I stopped drinking. It's not so easy, so I relapsed. I will try again tomorrow. Speedy, thanks for your message. I'm so happy you wrote it here, that it didn't work out the first time. Many times it doesn't work the first time. You need to have some of these crashes in life, and then it starts going better. Don't be so worried about this thing. If someone says to me here, now I will stop drinking, I always think I'm happy if it goes so, but if he needs some more practice, it's no problem. Even the speaking is okay. So it means I see things in other people that really are going on in me. Yes, Official Aladio. That's the thing. You put it so easy there. That's what it is about. That is projection. David Goggins failed multiple times in his goals also. 1 step back, 2 steps forward. Yes! Yes! Wow! This is a great line. I like this kind of thinking. And I like his speeches, like there's this powerful thing going on there. How does everybody have Makia shirt? I don't know. I have like 3 or 4 Makia t-shirts. I like them. Okay. The next one was rationalization. So this is the one where you get a speeding ticket for driving too fast, and you just feel like it's about the damn police. It's because of them I got this ticket. Or in school, you get a bad result from a test and you think, the teacher, she's the fault. So this is rationalization. It protects you. Oh, that's me. I just got my license back after 8 weeks. So you know what happens here. Makia peeps are logo thieves. Oh, that was nice. So the next one. Thanks, Sisiliskoen, for being here. Good night. Next one is regression. This is the one where a person goes back, like being an adult, he goes back to be a youngster in the way he functions and works through feelings. Or a child which has learned to be dry, night dry, doesn't pee anymore in the pants. Something happens, like it's very normal in children when they see like violence or something, they go backwards in their life, like they start using diapers once again and these kind of things. That is regression. And then there was this reaction formation, which is going through, you should feel like angry, but you start being overly nice. Or you like react in the complete opposite way of how you should. Or the other example was being in a funeral and smiling there. Like instead of feeling very sad, you start feeling suddenly happy. And it's a super interesting way of functioning. And other defense mechanisms we have not spoken today about. What could be used are acting out. So this is very normal. Instead of feeling, you start doing something. You act out the feeling. Aim inhibition. Accepting a modified form of their original goal. Like becoming a coach rather than a player. Altruism, satisfying your own needs through helping others. Avoidance, refusing to deal with or encounter unpleasant objects or situations. Compensation, overachieving in one area to compensate for failures in others. So somebody could be like, I was a bad father, but I was a good worker. Very normal. Dissociation. So dissociation is also a defense mechanism. So the mind puts the ugly feeling in a box in the head and you can't remember it anymore. Or you might go in a dissociative state rather than feeling fear or something like that. Fantasy. Avoiding reality by retreating to a safe place within one's mind. And the next one is great. This one is also thought to be a defense mechanism. Humor. Pointing out the funny aspects of life in one situation. But humor is thought to be one of the best defense mechanisms of a person. So if even in something very bad and hard, you can find humor, it might help you go through it. This next one is, I find very interesting also, passive-aggressive, indirectly expressing anger. So instead of being openly angry, you will be quiet or like, so you have hard time of showing your anger openly. And the aggression comes out in this very passive way. I know there are many people who do this. Instead of feeling it openly and saying, I'm very angry, they are like quiet and closed. Okay, now there are so many, I don't want to tell you anymore. So you will remember, if you remember a few of these, after a week it has helped you. So try to remember some of these. If something touched you, your own mind, your own way of living, and it might be problematic for you, maybe you got something out of this and it helps you. Sometimes when there's a sad event or someone is angry, I find it funny and sometimes laugh it out loud. Yes, Chip Still, that is exactly what's the thing I meant. That's the reaction formation thing. You should feel, in reality you are very sad, but your mind tricks yourself like you don't want to feel so sad. It's too much pain. You start laughing or being smiling or, this is funny. So, why I wanted to tell you about this kind of thing is that in this Twitch and internet gaming and all around, if you see people raging about games or calling names to others or bashing other countries or things like this, almost every time it's related to one of these things here. They themselves are feeling bad. Isn't it a huge thing if you think about it? Avaruusolento, what made you change the stream to English only? Okay, that I will put now. This is stop to that defense thing, and now we can talk about anything.